Yes, I have tricks in my pocket. Yes, I have things up my sleeve, but I'm not a stage magician. A stage magician gives you illusion with the appearance of truth. I give you the truth with the pleasant disguise of illusion. Now, to start, I'm rolling back time to that quaint period known as the 30s, where middle-class America was matriculating over schools for the blind, pupils of which their eyes had failed them, or they had failed their eyes, and they were having their fingers forced down on the fiery Braille alphabet of a dissolving economy. Now, in Spain, there was revolution, and here there was just a lot of shouting and confusion. And in Spain, there was Guernica, and here there were protests of labor. Sometimes pretty violent in normally peaceful cities like Chicago, St. Louis, Cleveland. And that is the social background of our play. This is a memory play. It is my memory. It is unrealistic, it is lighthearted. It is my memory, and as I usually remember things as music, that's why I have the fiddle in the wings, and etc. I'm the narrator of the play. I am also a character. This is me as a character. And besides myself, there are a few other characters. My mother, my sister, and a gentleman caller who only appears in the last 2 scenes. He is a misery, disconnected from the world, and as a writer, I love symbols, so I decided to use him as a symbol. He is the green light of my piece of the play. He is the unattainable future, the goal we all have.
There's a 5th character in the play.
There's a 5th character in the play who is only visible on a larger-than-life photograph above the mantle. He is my father. He worked for the telephone company, and he left us. He fell in love with long distances and quit his job with the telephone company, and he, well, last we heard of him, he was in Mexico. He sent us a telegram, 2 words, hello, goodbye. That's it. No return address, and if he was dead, wouldn't be surprised. No. I think that the rest of the play should explain itself.
Tom,
Yes, Mother.
you can't say grace until you come to the table.
Coming, Mother.
Honey, don't push with your fingers. If you have to push with something, the thing to push with is a crust of bread. And chew. Chew. Animals have secretions in their stomachs which enable them to digest food without mastication, but human beings are supposed to chew their food before they swallow it down. Eat food leisurely, son, and really enjoy it. A well-cooked meal has lots of delicate flavors that have to be held in the mouth for appreciation. So chew your food, and give your salivary glands a chance to function.
I haven't enjoyed one bite of this dinner because of your constant directions on how to eat it. It's you that makes me rush through meals with your hawk-like attention to every bite I take. Sickening, spoils my appetite. All this discussion of animals, secretion, salivary glands, mastication?
Temperament like a metropolitan star. You're not excused from the table.
I'm getting a cigarette.
You smoke too much.
I'll bring in the Blanc Mange.
No, sister. No, sister. You be the lady this time, and I'll be the darkling.
I'm already up.
Resume your seat, little sister. I want you to stay fresh and pretty for gentlemen callers.
I'm not expecting any gentlemen.
Sometimes they come when they're least expected. Why, I remember one Sunday afternoon in Blue Mountain.
I know it's coming.
Yes, but let her tell it.
One Sunday afternoon in Blue Mountain, your mother received 17 gentlemen callers. Why? Sometimes there weren't enough chairs to accommodate them all. We had to send a servant over to bring in folding chairs from the parish house.
How did you entertain those gentlemen callers?
I understood the art of conversation.
I bet you could talk.
Girls in those days knew how to talk. I can tell you.
Yes?
They knew how to entertain their gentlemen callers. It wasn't enough for a girl to be possessed of a pretty face and a graceful figure, although I wasn't slighted in either respect. She also needed to have a nimble wit and a tongue to meet all occasions.
What did you talk about?
Things of importance going on in the world, never anything coarse or common or vulgar. My callers were gentlemen, all. Among my callers were some of the most prominent young planters of the Mississippi Delta, planters and sons of planters. There was young Champ Laughlin, who later became vice president of the Delta Planters Bank, Haley Stevenson, who was drowned in Moon Lake and left his widow $150,000 in government bonds. There were the Portrier brothers, Wesley and Bates. Bates was one of my bright particular brew. He got in a quarrel with that wild Wainwright boy. They shot it out on the floor of Moon Lake Casino. Bates was shot through the stomach. He died in the ambulance on his way to Memphis. His widow was also well provided for, came to 8 or 10,000 acres, that's all. She married him on the rebound, never loved her, carried my picture on him the night he died, and there was that boy that every girl in the Delta had set her cap for, that beautiful, brilliant young Fixham boy from Greene County.
What did he leave his widow?
He never married. Gracious, you talk as though all of my old admirers have turned up their toes to the daisies.
Isn't this the first you've mentioned that still survives?
That Fitzhugh boy went north and made for a fortune, came to be known as the Wolf of Wall Street. He had the Midas touch. Whatever he touched turned to gold, and I could have been Mrs. Duncan J. Fitzhugh, mind you, but I picked your father.
Mother, let me clear the table.
No, dear, you go in front and study your typewriter chart. Or practice your shorthand a little. Stay fresh and pretty. It's almost time for our gentlemen callers to start arriving. How many do you suppose we're going to entertain this afternoon?
I don't believe we're going to receive any.
What? No one? Not one? You must be joking. Not one gentleman caller? It can't be true. There must be a flood. There must have been a tornado.
It isn't a flood. It's not a tornado. Mother's afraid I'm going to be an old man.